Welcome all to Trent University's virtual winter open house. We are excited to welcome you to the Academic Supports and Services session featuring academic advising and academic skills. My name is Zachary and I'll be the moderator for this session. And with me today, we have Dr. Sue Beckwith from Academic Skills, as well as Lindy Garno and Craig Cameron from Academic Advising. We're super excited for the path you have ahead of you and look forward to sharing all the reasons why Trent has been ranked the #1 undergraduate university in Ontario for 11 consecutive years. During the session itself, you can ask questions in the chat, and at the end of the presentation, we'll have time for a live question and answer. The presentation is also offered with closed captioning. If you want to enable those, just press the 3 dots on the bottom right-hand side of your screen so you could show your subtitles. On our events page today as well, we do have a lot of different live chats happening, so definitely feel free to drop into those that make sense for you to get any and all of your questions answered. We also have a general chat box that you could type in questions there, and we'll be sure to answer those by the end of the day. But with that, what I'll turn it over to Sue, Lindy, and Craig for our presentation.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, Zachary. We're here in our presentation about academic support services. As Zachary mentioned, my name is Sue Beckwith, and I'm an academic skills instructor at Trent. And we have Lindy Garno and Craig Cameron, who are advisors. And we'll get started on our presentation here. Okay, what does academic skills really mean, and why would you want to come to visit us? Well, we're here to support all the Trent students who, whether it's time management, organization, help with their writing, all of those things. So we're here to make the best student of you possible. So all of our services and our support people are here to help make the best person out of you as possible. So basically, we at Academic Skills, we focus on study skills. So things like time management is a big issue, but also how to take notes from those lectures. And I think this is an interesting topic that since we've been online for such a long time for some of our schooling, taking notes at lectures, at a live lecture, is a big skill that a lot of students have to spend a little bit of time thinking about. We do things like how to read, how to manage your time, and how to study for those exams. For writing skills, we look at your writing assignments from virtually the very beginning of an assignment analysis right through to the final draft of your paper. And you're allowed to come and visit us many times throughout that writing process. Writing skills are an incredibly important skill as you move through university and on into the workforce afterwards. We all need to have good communication skills, and that's what we're here for. We also have an academic skills instructor for our basic math skills. So if you need to fine tune some of those math skills that you're taking, and for a course that you're taking at university level, we have an instructor to help with that. Now, there's a lot of students who would be coming from high school, directly from high school, but there's also some students who've been coming to Trent University from other points in their lives. They may be coming from a community college, another institution, or they might have been out of school for a long time and are coming back as a student at Trent University. So the common element here is everybody's gone to high school. So I want to sort of make some differences in comparison between high school and university. So one of the things that is very different at university is the amount of independence that students have. And things like being independent about their class time, their schedule, when they're going to get that work done. In high school, it was a little bit more guided and so forth, but at university, there is a lot more independence and you have to make the right choices to make sure you get your assignments in on time and things like that. So one of the key elements that university students need is to be able to manage their time, knowing how and when to get those assignments in, how to get all of the competing interests of classes, assignments, and so forth done, and still have a life at university, because there is a lot of fun going on at university as well. So it's not all, work, but we do need to have some time management to make sure that we do spend enough time on our schoolwork. And typically a student would work anywhere from 35 to 40 hours a week on classwork at university. So here's one little sort of tip sheet that we at Academic Skills like to think about. So these are the types of things that we would be presenting to students just at the very beginning of the semester, the very beginning of your time at university, to give you some understanding of some tips to get started in the right direction. The first one we always recommend is to read your course syllabus. And this is kind of like the contract between your course instructor and you as the student. So this document has a lot of information on it. It's one of those things you should be spending a lot of time looking at throughout the semester. Another important tool that we use at university is what we call our Blackboard site. And this is where all the action actually happens. You'll be interacting with your professor, you'll be getting course assignments, readings, you may be submitting your assignments through this Blackboard site. So it's really the digital interface between you and your classes. So it's important to find out how to navigate around that Blackboard site right at the beginning of the year. The third point here is to review introduction modules or videos from your instructor. A great way to get to know who your instructor is, who they are, and just have a face to a name. Great opportunity there. The fourth point is to make sure to note important dates and important due dates for your class. This is incredibly important. We recommend putting them onto a giant calendar and just posting it on the wall in front of you so that you know when all of those assignments are due and that you're up to date with what your workload is all about. And then finally, setting up your study space just so that you have everything at hand, you know what you need, everything's there. It may be a nice quiet space, it may be away from other things that are going on in your life, but you do need a space to actually work in. So those are some of the things that an academic skills instructor can help you with as you move forward in your academic career. Academic Skills at Trent University has a huge academic skills website. This is such a popular website. We have something like 80,000 hits per month on our website. So not only do the Trent University students use this resource, I think there are people all around the world who use this resource. It is an incredibly valuable and rich resource. So this is available to Trent students 24/7 and contains a wealth of information. How to write different types of assignments, how to study for that multiple choice test, how do you write in the sciences. So a lot of information here, a lot of things you can be spending some time on even before you start at Trent. And then looking at it again as you go through your career at Trent, because it is such a valuable resource. The other thing that Academic Skills does is we have free and confidential appointments. These are individualized appointments. They're for 45 minutes each. So a great tool, a great way to interact with somebody other than your professor, and we're there to help, just help you along the way. And they're a great tool to help and supplement your education. So we offer these in person, via email, or over Zoom. So once you become a Trent student, these will be something that you can tap into and are again, a great resource for you. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Lindy and Craig.
Thanks so much, Sue. And I'm wondering, while you share your screen, I'm wondering if there's a way for people to see me speaking and then Craig speaking.
Okay. Let's
I
see
don't know.
that. Yeah. Does that
Okay.
work?
I still see you on the screen, but you know what? That's okay. I'm just going to go with it. And as long as people can hear me, that's what matters.
I
So,
can see you.
oh, you can. Okay, great.
Well, maybe
I
that's
can-
something that each individual person can do, is where you see the band of all the different peoples. Up at the top of that band, there's I think 3 or 4 different little icons. And the one that says the active speaker, if you click on that, then you'd get a small picture of the person who's actually talking.
We're actually
Fantastic.
getting a notice in the chat by some of our viewers that they can see you, Lindy.
Okay, great. Thank you. I can't see me, so let's hope it's all, I look fine. Thanks. Okay, so hi, I'm Lindy Garno, and I'm the academic advisor at Champlain College. And I'm excited to be here with you today, chatting about academic advising. I also want to take a moment to introduce my colleague, who is the academic advisor down at Durham, Craig. Craig, would you like to say hi?
Hi, everybody. Glad you're here today.
Wonderful. Thanks, Craig. So today we're going to be providing a quick overview of what academic advising is, how academic advising can help you, and how to access academic advising once you come to Trent. Academic advising at Trent is an ongoing educational partnership between the advisor, myself, Craig, or any of our advisors that we have, and you, the student, that is dedicated to student learning, development, and success. Through the advising experience, students develop educational plans for achieving their personal and academic goals and develop the skills and commitment to become engaged, self-directed learners and competent decision makers. So as you have probably noticed, in even just engaging with Trent today during this open house, there's so much information being given to you today. Academic advising is a great place to come when you start your studies at Trent. If you have any questions about anything to do with your academics, we can help sort of sort through that, because there's just so much and it can feel overwhelming at times. And I'd like to think of academic advising as sort of a great place to come if you're not sure where to go. And then from there, we can help direct you into the right place, and we can talk to you about your particular academic plan, your degree, what you'd like to do with it, and how to make that possible. And so now I'm going to hand it over to Craig, who's going to talk a little bit more about how academic advising can support you.
Thank you, Lindy. So again, I know that Sue mentioned earlier, welcome to everybody, no matter where you are in your journey, where you are in the world, and whether you're coming from high school, transfer student, from college, mature student, part-time, full-time. Trent, we welcome you to our inclusive environment, and so nice to be here with you today. If you want to flip the screen over there, Sue, I think we're able to go on to the next slide. Thank you very much. Look at this team working synchronously. I would like just to say that both Lindy and I are alumni of Trent University as well. We both did our undergrads here. We did our masters outside of Trent, but we did do our undergrad. So we liked it so much that we stayed. So we encourage you to accept offers and come and join us on this journey. I'm convinced you won't regret it. So what do we do? So in a nutshell, these little icons you see on the screen, I'm going to quickly go through them. Okay, so a lot of times students come here with a pretty clear goal in mind, and then university happens and they find something else, and they get excited about a different discipline or subject, and it changes their goals a little bit. And so we help students clarify their academic goals and to create a plan which is flexible and adaptable so that it can meet those needs, right, as you move along. So we assist you in understanding your program and the degree requirements and the policies around those. The second icon talks about deciding which courses to take. So there are choices in terms of some courses are required, but then you get to choose. The easier ones are the ones where you know you have to take this course. The other ones, we have a little bit more decision making involved in terms of what you'd like to take or what you'd like to explore, and we can help you with that, and understand some of the options that are available to you. In fact, we have something called an option, which is just a series of courses that complements your major. We have joint majors, we have minors, specializations. You can see, as Lindy was saying a moment ago, there's so much new language and there's so many new different things. We help you navigate through some of that and sort of unpack it for you as you make decisions going along. So the next icon is understanding academic regulations. Yeah, we have those. We have these regulations that we need to adhere to as we're earning our degree, departmental requirements, overall university requirements. Your friendly neighborhood academic advisor, once again, helps you navigate through some of that, sometimes thicker language that comes with the university journey. So as you go through that, sometimes life happens, as it does. And we just experienced this in the last couple of years, of course. We can help you navigate those challenges and find solutions that work for you or fit where you're at and try to meet you where you are. So from there, we have connecting students to other services. It's not just services we connect to, and I'll mention a couple of those in a moment, but it's also faculty, right? Really working to encourage you to engage in a dialogue with your faculty and then participate. I mean, your first line of defense are your TAs and your faculty within courses. They carry the expertise within the specific disciplines or subjects that you're taking. From there, obviously you met Sue, so we do a lot of referrals to academic skills, of course. You know, instead of sending, you know, somebody to academic skills and they arrive in front of Sue and Sue says, so why are you here? Because Lindy sent me. We try to actually unpack a little bit before you arrive at Sue's door, saying, you know, what are the particular areas that you might need some help? That's just to make it a little bit more effective and efficient for getting what you need as quick as possible. So we can help unpack some of that stuff. So student accessibility services, I did see somebody had a chat. I'm not sure if Zachary got to that as yet, but accessibility services, separate department. We work a lot in tandem with them as well, and making sure that students are accessing supports that way, bringing their, you know, their IEPs and such to access. Actually, Lindy and I met many years ago working within accessibility services at Trent University, going back, oh Jesus, at least 10, 15 years now, unbelievably. So Indigenous supports, mentoring, counseling, health services, you know, we get a lot that comes in through our door, and then we try to find a student a pathway to get that support. And finally, the actually most exciting part is once you go through this journey, we're hopefully empowering you, right? We're hopefully allowing you to build your own decision-making expertise around what are choices you want to make and sort of take charge of your education, and also the direction that you would like to go in subsequent to your completion of your degree. I think that's it for me right now, Lindy. I'm going to swing it back to you.
That's great, Craig. Thank you. So what I'd like to add to what Craig has said is that there are 6 academic advisors available on the Peterborough campus. We have an advisor in every college, as well as an all colleges advisor. On the Durham campus, we have 2 academic advisors, one of which is Craig. So there's many advisors that work with students, and you don't necessarily have to choose the advisor that is in your college, although that is a really great place to start. But for many reasons, students do sometimes choose different advisors to work with other than the person who's affiliated with their college. And so we just encourage you to connect with a advisor, and then we can go from there. We offer generally 2 types of appointments. So the first is a 30-minute booked appointment that you can book online through our student experience portal. And the other is a same-day appointment. So between Monday and Thursday, every week, we offer same-day 15-minute appointments for things that are time sensitive, things that come up that you couldn't have planned for, any sort of issue that cannot wait. Our 30-minute appointments are for planning purposes. So if you want to do some goal setting, if you want to talk about your degree, if you want to talk about where you want to go after your degree, for all of those things, a 30-minute appointment is usually the best place to be. We are excited to see you. We are happy to answer any questions that you might have. I think that we could probably turn this over now to our Q&A session, if anybody has any questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sue, Lindy, and Craig, for that great presentation. You'll see here just on the screen, if you have any questions following this presentation, we have our contacts up on there. So if you have something specific for academic skills, we have acdskills@trentu.ca, or any questions specifically for academic advising can be sent to academicadvising@trentu.ca. And there was a question in the chat earlier about prospective students reaching out to academic advising. Yes, you definitely can do that. Feel free to send us an email and we would be happy to answer any and all of your questions. But with that, I'm going to try to sort through these questions. I know we've been answering some along the way, and I've flagged a few that I would like to ask to our advisors here. So a question that came from Faith, which I think is very relevant. How do you choose your courses? As a first-year student this fall, they'd like to just get some insight on overall choosing your courses and how do you go about that? So I don't know if Lindy or Craig, you'd like to take that.
Yeah, I can answer that question. All right, so there is a process for registering for courses. That process starts sometime in June. I think it's usually the end of June for students, for new students beginning in the fall. Before that, however, there's going to be something called the academic timetable that's released that will be available online that you'll be able to look at to see all of the different courses that are offered and how they're being offered. Are they offered in person? Are they offered online? And when are they offered and what classrooms are they in if they happen to be in person? So all that course information will be in that timetable to help you as you make your choices. There's also a tool that's available on your Trent, which is sort of our in-house system for students, that is called, that helps students with selecting their courses, and as you choose them, you get to see a visual of what your personal schedule might look like based on when the courses are slotted in each day of the week. And so that helps students get a sense of like, can I take this course? Is it going to conflict with another course? And then once you've sort of got that all figured out, you can then, there is a way in which you take the codes that are associated with each course and send it to the registration system to get registered. In terms of figuring out which courses are the best courses for you to take, a lot of that depends on what program you're interested in pursuing. So there is a document called the academic calendar, which is also available on our website. And if you go on the Trent website and you were to put in the little search box academic calendar, I'm sure it will take you right there to that calendar. Currently, the academic calendar that's available is for the 2021-22 academic year. For you all coming in the fall, you're going to be following the 2022-2023 academic calendar, which most likely will not be published probably till sometime around the end of May is usually when it comes out. But certainly for just kind of getting a good sense of what courses you would like to take, you can use the calendar that's currently available. I would just double check it before you do register for those courses to make sure nothing's changed. Generally speaking, there aren't a lot of huge changes in first year, but sometimes that does happen depending on the department. So I would take a look at that, and within that document, you can look up using the timetable or the table of contents, which you can look up your particular department, and there will be a list there of all the courses that you are needed to complete as part of that degree. Outside of what's listed there for first year, you then are able to take several elective courses. So if you're a full-time student and you're wanting to register in 5 courses in the fall and 5 courses in the winter next year, you're going to be taking a series of required courses for whatever major it is you're deciding to go into. And then everything else is an elective. And an elective at Trent means any course outside of your course requirements. So oftentimes we get asked questions of like, what is an elective? Do you have a sheet that shows me all the elective courses? And we don't, because an elective course is any course outside of your program. And so that really gives you the opportunity to explore, to look at lots of different options. At Trent, we pride ourselves on being interdisciplinary. And part of what that means is taking courses in lots of different areas to get a wide breadth of different information that can complement your core degree. So I hope that helps to answer that question.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindy, for that. And just a clarification, as it came up in the chat earlier, if folks have already accepted your offer, these are still the best email addresses for you to reach out to if you have any questions leading up to fall course registration, or even if you have any questions about summer course registration, if you've been accepted for the summer, definitely reach out to us and we'd be happy to walk you through your course plan and how to get started on that. A good question, I know we answered in the chat, but I believe it would be helpful for folks to hear. If you start a course and realize it isn't for you, how much time do you typically have to drop the course and join a different one?
I guess that's my turn now, Zachary. I'll take that one on. Yeah, so I think this actually goes back to sort of the spirit of the exploration, right? So we do have, you know, people will accept for certain majors, and of course that's the intention. And as Lindy said, you pick some electives on the side. Maybe it's something because you're thinking of a specialization or an option or a minors. So you're exploring, and so you're doing that with the best of intentions, and you know, talking to advisors and thinking about your previous learning and what you're interested in. But sometimes it does happen where you end up in a course where you're, I need to maybe explore something else. There is a little window, and you want to, this is the importance of being prepared and making sure you go to those classes and getting access to the course outlines as soon as possible, so you know what you're in for, so to speak. Yeah, it's usually a couple of weeks that you have to drop a course and try to switch into another one. I just want to point out though that we're academic advisors. And so, you know, the sooner you can make that, I mean, some students will go into the first class and they'll recognize that this is not for them. We encourage students to trust their instincts and make that move as soon as possible, okay? Because obviously the longer that you stay in and then try to switch later, you're missing coursework in another class. So trust yourself in terms of if that instinct feels like you're in the wrong course. But usually we would say safely a couple of weeks to check things out. We just need to make a note though that we've mentioned an academic calendar a few times, but in the chat box, Lindy's mentioned it. It's kind of oddly named, okay? It is a calendar because it actually has important dates in it, many of them academic dates. So it will tell you when is the last day to add a course or to drop a course. And I'm not going to get into this today, but in that calendar, when you're looking at it, find the important dates section and you'll see some of the distinctions between when you can drop a course and still be able to switch into another course, when you can drop a course just to get out of it because you find out later in the term that it's not going so well. And then finally, I'd just like to say that there's also financial deadlines, which are different from academic deadlines for removal. So you need to be aware of those dates as well, because they are different and there are other financial implications you need to be aware of. Whether you're receiving Ontario Student Assistance or not. So just a few things. And again, the calendar is oddly named because in the calendar, it also has all the department and degree requirements in it as well. So it's not just a calendar, so to speak, which when I think of a calendar, I think it's going to show me, you know, the different months of the year and the dates, but it also has such a wide range of other information. So that document, the sooner you can have a look at it, the better. And as Lindy said, it does let you know what's specifically required for your major. And then you get to sort of explore with that timetable and see what else you'd like to see that's out there. And we encourage you to try something perhaps that you haven't taken before. For all of our programs, for example, you are going to have to or required to take an Indigenous Studies course, which is a wonderful exploration, to try something different as well. So, keep an open mind when you come.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Sue, Lindy, and Craig for this presentation, answering those questions. Also, thank you to Kaylee, who was one of our recruitment student staff in the back end, helping out in the chat box itself. But it does look like we have reached the end of our presentation. And just like I said, taking that moment to thank our panelists here. The session itself, it has been recorded and it will be posted on our open house webpage next week, along with all of our sessions from today. So if there's anything you want to come back to, it will be posted on our website next week. I would also like to invite you to come visit our campuses. We have 2 beautiful campuses, and we're hosting both in-person tours as well as in-person spring open houses at each campus. And you could register today by going to trentu.ca/discover. There are still a few sessions going on for today, as well as our live chats happening on the main webpage. So definitely take advantage to explore those in the remaining hour of this session. But with that, thank you so much for joining and have a fantastic day, everyone.